What's going on, guys? It's Jimmy here. Welcome to our daily show where we discuss the fourth stimulus package update, daily news, pretty much everything going on here in our country, in Washington, D.C., money, investing, the stock market, and everything you need to know about on a daily basis. Remember, the new videos come out here every day at 10 a.m., 3 p.m., and 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. If you haven't subscribed yet, make sure to subscribe down below so you don't miss out on new videos. It's completely free to do so. And if you find these videos helpful, don't forget to hit the like button for us down below. Okay, first things first, I want to clear up a couple things here. Number one is President Biden has signed the government funding bill. Will prevent a government shutdown. Okay, this will not prevent the debt limit, or this will not prevent the debt ceiling. Okay, there's a lot of confusion here, and I feel like there's a lot of misreporting going on here a lot about this. Okay, you can see here, right in here in this headline, Congress will now turn to the debt ceiling. Okay, this does not solve the debt limit crisis that is going to, the debt limit is estimated to be hit on December 15th here. I'll show you this here, right here on the screen here. I'll zoom this in here so you can see this. This measure will keep the government running through February 18th. It's kind of a kick the can down the road here. This legislation buys the Democrats time as they try to raise or suspend the U.S. debt ceiling before December 15th. Okay, as you can see here, this does not solve the debt ceiling or the debt limits crisis. They still have to do that. That is one of the things they still have to do. They still have to do the fund the military bill, also called the NDAA, the National Defense Authorization, and they still have to pass the $1.75 trillion Build Back Better bill, also known as the stimulus package, by the end of the year. Okay, so this still has Social Security, child tax credit payments, bond interest payments, and the full faith and credit of the United States. Basically, the Treasury Department is potentially still going to run out of money by or estimated date of December 15th. The debt limit is not solved. That crisis is not solved. Okay, I feel like there's a lot of misreporting and a lot of people think that that is solved here. That is not the case. Okay, the government is funded, but remember, I've been reporting this. If you've been watching my show here, you know that that is two separate issues. Okay, that debt limit still needs to be solved. That they're going to be working on that next year, hopefully. As you can see here, Biden's signature on this bill prevents a government shutdown hours before an end of Friday deadline. This measure, which the House and Senate passed Thursday night, will keep the government running through February 18th. With the threat of a disruptive funding lapse quashed, lawmakers will now move to the next step in a daunting December to-do list. The Democratic-led Congress will next try to stave off a potential default on U.S. debt and pass Biden's $1.75 trillion Build Back Better Act and approve an annual defense budget bill. Treasury Secretary Janet Yellen expects the U.S. will hit its debt ceiling on December 15th if lawmakers do not raise or suspend the debt limit. Republicans have said they will not vote to hike the U.S. borrowing limit, the debt limit, but Senate Minority Leader Mitch McConnell has signaled he may not block the Democrats from doing so on their own. What that means there, that last little part of that sentence, would be doing it through the reconciliation process, which would mean through the stimulus package. But at this point here, there's 12 days or less to do that. The other thing they're kind of talking about is not necessarily doing it through the stimulus package per se, but doing it through an expedited reconciliation process where they might pass the debt limit on its own through the reconciliation process and basically do a standalone bill through the reconciliation process, which basically the reconciliation process means passing it through the Senate with just the 50 to 51 votes in the Senate. And the Democrats may have to burn a reconciliation card in the Senate just to pass the debt limit, which is another option the Democrats may have to do because Republicans don't really want to vote for this, especially after Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer blasted them the last time around, which makes them even less likely to vote for it this time around. But the problem is that somebody has to vote for it to prevent the government from literally defaulting and preventing our economy from going kaput and preventing Social Security payments from being potentially delayed, child tax credit payments from being potentially delayed, and our whole economy from going. And I have this interesting article here that one of our viewers, Jason Jackson, here sent me that previously says what the debt limit or the debt ceiling woes could mean for Social Security benefits. Treasury Secretary Janet Yellen suggested previously that Social Security benefits will be impacted if Congress doesn't raise or suspend the debt ceiling. Yeah, check this out. You can see here, Treasury Secretary Janet Yellen made headlines this week with an op-ed suggesting government checks could run dry if Congress doesn't raise the debt ceiling. Quote, nearly 50 million seniors could stop receiving Social Security checks for a time. Yeah, so even Social Security has its own fund. They could be delayed at best if the government actually defaults because of the debt limit. So this is a very serious issue if the U.S. government actually defaults. This is coming from literally the Treasury Secretary of the United States. And President Biden himself has said this as well. Here's one reason why Social Security checks could be delayed. Not everyone agrees on the consequences, what they could be for Social Security, partly in because, well, we've never had a default from the US government. We don't ever want to actually see this happen. This is not a government shutdown. This is an actual default, which would happen because the debt limit would be hit. The National Committee to Preserve Social Security and Medicare recently warned that benefit checks could be delayed for weeks or even longer if Congress fails to either raise or suspend the debt limit. This is why this is so serious, and this is why we don't want to see the debt limit be hit. This is why this is something that cannot happen. This is why this is such a serious issue. This is why both the president and the Treasury Secretary have said this cannot happen. That's why it's such a serious issue. I can't stress that enough. Maria Fries, a senior policy advisor at the committee, said it is not a straight yes or no as to whether the debt ceiling will affect Social Security funds and the ability to pay the benefits. That uncertainty is due to the fact that there is now more money going out in payments than there is coming in through payroll taxes. Due to the size of the baby boomer population, to accommodate that, the program is drawing down from its trust funds, which include treasury bonds that are used to pay benefits. That situation could lead to Social Security getting caught up in the government bumping up against its borrowing authority, which could delay benefits, she said. We are in an unusual situation. That's why I think people don't know exactly what the impact is going to be. We've never had this happen before. Yeah, so let me know your thoughts down below in the comments. I'll keep you up to date on here. Like I said, it's not just Social Security, it's child tax credit payments as well. Also, going forward, they have to pass the stimulus package to keep those monthly payments going forward for the child tax credit payments, as well as passing the stimulus package to lower the cost of prescription drug payments, to fund preschool for 3 and 4-year-olds, lower the cost of childcare for basically anybody that pays for childcare. Remember, the average cost of childcare is over $10,000 for the average family. In some cases, it's $20,000. There's a lot of things they want to do, and a lot of it is up to Senator Joe Manchin here. It's going to be a very big week here coming forward. Also, Senator Joe Manchin is caught up in this funding for Biden's vaccine mandates, he's going to be a crucial key vote here. He actually might side with the Republicans this week to prevent funding for that this week. Yeah, there's a lot going on here. And really, we're getting down to about 12 days here on the debt limit. Yeah. So it's more and more likely going to be that they're going to have to come to an agreement with the Republicans in the Senate. So we need, probably is the most likely path, that the Republicans are going to have to either allow them to pass it in the Senate with an expedited reconciliation process, which means that the Republicans are going to have to allow them to do that, grant them the ability to do that, or give them 10 votes like they did last time. Remember, there was 11 Republicans who did that. But then Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer blasted them, and then right after that, Republicans said, well, next time we're not going to help you. That was kind of the problem with that. That's why I personally wouldn't have did that, knowing that bill was only for 2 months and that we're going to have to do this again in 2 months. And here we are, a month and a half later already. That's the problem with doing that. It's just that it was just so quick. It's not like it was a year later and then they might forget about it a little bit. Yeah. It's not like the stimulus package where the Democrats are going to pass that on their own and they don't really need the Republican votes. It's not like you're playing baseball and you're kind of taunting the other team and they're on the other team and you really don't care what they say. You're playing against them. It's like you're playing against the other team and you need the other team to vote on your team. That's kind of that's kind of the problem with this. It's like you're playing baseball against the other team, and you're the Cleveland Indians. Well, I guess you're not really the Cleveland Indians anyway. You're not the Cleveland Guardians. Yeah, I don't think I'll ever get used to that. You've grown up your whole life and you're the Cleveland Indians, and now you're the Cleveland Guardians. How can you ever get used to that? So nonetheless, you're the Cleveland Indians and you're playing against the New York Yankees, but you have to have the New York Yankees vote with you. So if you have to have the New York Yankees vote on your team, you can't exactly swear at them and call them every cuss word in the book, or not necessarily like go that far, right? But you know what I'm saying here, right? If you need them to vote on your team, you can't exactly throw the book at them and then say, "Hey, can we get your votes?" Yeah, that's why I would have went about it a different way. Now, don't get me wrong, Mitch McConnell does the same thing, but it's a little bit different scenario because Mitch McConnell doesn't need the votes per se. Now, when he was majority leader, that was when he needed the votes. It's Chuck Schumer who needs the votes right now. So last year, when I was reporting this stuff to you, that's when Mitch McConnell needed the votes. So I would have said the same thing to you last year if you've been watching the show from then. That's when I would have been reporting those things to you. The other thing is we got the stimulus package here, and Joe Manchin's kind of throwing these wrenches in there, and they're kind of negotiating things here as well. And Bernie Sanders is kind of be going through these as well. Bernie Sanders right now is trying to negotiate extra things in there for seniors. Right now, they're trying to negotiate extra benefits for seniors. One of the things he's trying to get in there right now is vision. So remember, if we go back to a little bit ago when they were trying to negotiate hearing, dental, and vision for Medicare. And remember what they got in there is they got hearing and hearing aids. Okay. And remember, the most expensive is the dental. Okay. And what they're trying to potentially work on now is to get the vision and the vision coverage. That's a possibility that could be negotiated in there. Now, remember that anything that doesn't potentially get in there now, it's not necessarily dead in the water because there's going to be another stimulus package after this, okay? So remember that anything that doesn't make it in this stimulus package, it's not like, oh, we didn't get it. There's going to be another stimulus package after this. Because remember that this package was originally $3.5 trillion, and now it's basically cut down to about $1.75 trillion, which is ironically or coincidentally exactly half. $3.5 trillion, exactly half of that is $1.75 trillion. So if you think about that, it's exactly half. President Biden and top Democrats like Nancy Pelosi and Chuck Schumer have already confirmed there will be another stimulus package after this that they're going to use another reconciliation card on. So basically, after they pass this bill, they've actually been passing a pretty decent amount of stuff now. They passed the physical infrastructure package that's signed, sealed, and delivered. House, Senate, and President has signed it. They've now passed the government funding bill twice. They're going to have to do it again in February as well. Yeah, they've passed the debt limit once, and now they're going to have to do it again now. So they have been passing a decent amount of stuff. They passed the stimulus package in the House, but that's basically now turning out to be a rough draft because it's going to be changed significantly in the Senate. The way to kind of look at it is, yes, it's a rough draft, but it's also kind of looking at is going to be the first half. Okay, it's going to be changed significantly, and who knows what it's going to end up being. But there's going to be a second half to this bill. Okay, so anything that kind of doesn't make it in this bill, there's going to be a second half to this bill. After this bill, they're going to start working on half number 2. Okay, so whatever doesn't make it into this bill is going to be potentially in the second half of this bill. Okay, because the Democrats are going to try to potentially put in a lot of stuff here before the next midterm elections, which is in this November coming up. So they're going to try to retain the House and Senate. Of course, the Republicans are going to try to take back the House and or Senate because they don't want to have the Democrats be in control of everything. Okay, right now the Democrats are in control of the House, Senate, and the presidency. Back in 2018 and 2019, the Republicans had control of the House, the Senate, and the presidency. And ironically, back in 2018 and 2019, we had a government shutdown. Both in 2018 and I think it was 2018 and 2019, we had government shutdowns. We just averted a government shutdown today, actually, literally by less than 24 hours. That's how close we were. But we had government shutdowns back in 2000. I think it was 2018 and 2019. We had government shutdowns. But we just literally averted it here by less than 24 hours today. So don't think they can't happen because they literally just happened a few years ago. And sometimes they're very extended. Sometimes they happen for weeks at a time. But remember, we can't have a debt limit. We can't have a debt limit happen because when that happens, the economy goes kaboom. It's not like, oh, we've had government shutdowns before. We can't do the debt limit thing. It's just like it's 100 times worse. Can't do it. It's just like it's something that cannot happen. Cannot happen. It's just like the one thing I stress that it's like it can't even happen at all. It's like the worst case scenario. And of course, you're going to leave it up to Congress. So what are they going to do? They're going to wait to the last minute and then hope that it gets done. It's like, all right, here's Congress. We're Republicans and Democrats. We're going to hope that it gets done. We put our fingers behind our back and cross our toes, and then it's like we're going to leave it up to them. And they're going to try to pass it by one vote, right? At the very last minute. Our faithful elected leaders. Yeah. So let me know your thoughts. I'll keep you up to date here. We still got a lot here they got to do here. They got the stimulus package. They got the debt limit. They got the National Defense Authorization Act. All here, and the time is ticking on all of this. And then they got another stimulus package after this. They're going to have student loan debt forgiveness. They're going to have possibly other types of debt forgiveness and probably a lot of other things that I can't even think about here at this moment. So, and Social Security raises here coming out here in the future. So I will keep you up to date here on everything. Make sure to subscribe down below if you haven't yet. It's free to do so. Join our family of subscribers as well as help us reach our goal of 400,000 subscribers. You can also share this video with your friends and family so that they can join our family of subscribers. Don't miss out on any videos at this point. New videos come out here every day at 10 a.m., 3 p.m., and 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time every day. You can click here to watch my newest video next, and you can click here to see my newest video on Social Security raises. The Democrats want to raise Social Security benefits by several $100s per month here in the next upcoming bill. So click on one of those videos next. Thanks, guys, and I'll see you in the next video.